Welcome to SplitSecond, your channel for watching EDH and cEDH gameplay, as well as spicy deck techs. Here you can definitely expect clutch plays and gigantic stacks, gameplay insights and hand analysis, risky keeps that might have not paid off, victories without Thassa's Oracle, players who tap their permanents both ways, and much, much more. If you enjoy our content, feel free to hit that subscribe button and join us every week. And of course, you are more than welcome to integrate our awesome Discord community and speak with us about our games, your deck ideas, or just share some wholesome pet photos. Click on any of the videos below to watch our matches, and let's start breaking the stack.
Thank you for checking out Monarch Media, where ideas and causes worth talking about collide with Magic's most ferocious format. If you like what we do, consider checking us out on Patreon, Twitch, or our Discord.
Play with your best decks. Play the best tournaments. Play your best character. Play with your best friends. Mercadia. Play your best.
And welcome back, everybody. Thank you for hanging on there when we changed the stream. We are now ready with the semi-finals. So, Enrique, let's just recap who is in our semi-final plot today.
In our semi-finals, in our split-second table will be UMAD playing Yuriko, Tremnek playing Blue Farm, Dogark playing Najila, and Juanpego playing Rocco.
And worth mentioning, in the first seed, UMAD has not lost a game today.
True.
So, very impressive. Just before we turn the camera onto the feature match table, we want to ask you if you can please subscribe and like our channels here. If you like the content and the tournaments, it helps a lot. With that said, I hope you're ready for the games. Let's begin. Okay, so players are ready here. In your top left corner we have UMAD, our undefeated Yuriko player. In the second seat, top right corner, we have Blue Farm with, what was the name? Tremnek, yeah, our Spanish player. In lower right, Najila, which is
Dogark.
Dogark, and in the fourth seat we have the Rocco player Juanpego, and we see a Siren Storm Tamer here from an island from the Yuriko, a Tarnished Citadel here from Tremnek. So Yuriko already off to a good start, and a Esper Sentinel, also a great start from Tremnek.
With a draw engine on the table since the turn one, so this Esper Sentinel can do a lot of work from now on. So,
but we have to remember that UMAD can circumvent it. Creatures doesn't trigger it, and it's a ninjutsu, and we have a flyer already. Yeah. So I'm excited to see if UMAD can keep up the undefeated streak.
Well, if he does, he goes to the finals.
Okay, we see what is, I assume, is gonna be a turn one Najila here. Yeah. Feeding the Esper Sentinel for one, but I think it's worth it for the pressure that a turn one Najila provides.
Yeah, it can do a lot of damage since turn two, so this can be a big hit for the table.
Yeah.
So
I'm also sure that Tremnek as a Blue Farm player is kind of wishing that a turn one Najila, with also having to control Yuriko, your life total is going to be on pressure right from the beginning. Okay, plateau into Soul Ring. So great starts from everybody here. Yeah. Nice to see.
Tremnek drew already 2 cards from that Esper Sentinel, so building a good hand from now on. So.
And we have a Dimir land here from UMAD. Not sure which one it is, but I am sure that it can make the needed black mana so we can get Yuriko. Yeah. And we see the attack. Yeah. And now we see the players pointing to the blue farm player.
However, the Nagila player does play ad nauseum as well, so
Yeah, and it is also the Nagila player we can see here. And no ninjutsu.
it's Darkwater Catacombs, the land. It's the filter land from that was
Gotcha.
originally printed on
Oh.
Slot, I think.
So Ninja of the Devours. I like that. Because you can always cast Nagila. Getting the card draw on immediately. Okay.
Possibility for-
Great start from all the players here. And we now just get confirmation what the players have in hand. So we see a Force of Negation and a Temporal Mastery, at least from the Yuriko player.
And Dispel,
Oh, is it Dispel? Yeah.
And Ninja of Deep Powers. that
Yeah,
we
but that's already seen. And from Tremnek, I believe here we have a Dark Ritual, Mox Diamond, Teferi, Silence, Jeska's Will, and a Pact of Negation. So also all riled up. And from the Nagila player, we have a Breach and a Silence and a Wishclaw Talisman. So great hands.
Yeah.
And let's see what Rocco brings to the table.
That
Okay, so Goblin are Necromancer.
Narcomancer, the one.
Ranger Captain, Source to Plowshares, Enlightened Tutors, Sacred Foundry.
So
Okay.
a big possibility for him to have a lot of interaction like the games before. So
And, I'm sorry to interrupt you here, but we see a Dark Ritual already from Tremnek. So those triggers from Especentum could have brought something interesting. So we see there is some deliberation here. The Nagila player seems to pass. Rocco, I'm sure, will pass as well.
the Nagila player did not do any interaction at 0, and it does not have interaction from his starting hand. So
So we're just casting a Tumna, and I kind of like that. Keep the cards flowing. So, and you can see all the deck list in chat now. Okay, so are we gonna use the last mana for anything? No, we're just attacking, and we're attacking Yuriko here. Drawing a card, paying a life, doing blue farm stuff. Okay. Oh, which Mox Opal?
Mox Opal.
Probably a freshly drawn one.
Yeah.
Okay, so rolling for crit here.
Not thinking damage, so
I mean, with the hand that Nagila has, there is a Silence, there is a Wishclaw Talisman, there is a Breach,
yeah, and a
That is-
Phantasmal Image.
and a Phantasmal Image.
So
Yeah, so you can even draw 2 cards here, play Phantasmal Image, copy Timna,
yeah,
attack 2 different players with Nagila and the Warrior, draw 2 cards, set up for next turn. I like that.
yeah.
Let's see.
I think
Yeah.
there you go.
And I'd be surprised if this not Timna here.
Yeah, there you go. So this is the semi.
This is the semi, yes. So all 4 semifinals are being played simultaneously. We have the main match we are watching now. If this ends early, we have a backup match on the Cardmarket table. So yeah, after that will be the final. So yeah, we see Nagila attacking here with its little companion. I am assuming that Nagila will be attacking Yuriko, and the warrior is gonna attack Rocco, and this will result in 2 cards drawn, and I'm really liking where Nagila is here.
Nagila is building not only a really great board state, but also for what we know that he has in hand, this game can be over really quickly.
The only thing that we are lacking is some true form of interaction, because silence is good, but the issue is that you can get silence right back. I don't remember which were the players, but one of the other white players had another silence.
The Rocco player had not the silence, but he had Ranger Captain of Eels.
Oh, Ranger Captain, yeah, that's true.
But yeah, we do have a silence from Cardmarket.
Okay, and we see a post-combat Tinderwall here, so we might be seeing some action already next turn. Okay, Rocco with their second turn here.
The top 16 lists will be shared on MTG Top 8, and we will also they will be posted on our Discord.
Okay, and we see the Ranger Captain from the Rocco player just as we expected here, which can...
This can be interesting. This can be interesting for as a Nagila player, forcing him to go off in response to anything that the other players might play, and then.
But we also see here now suddenly the Nagila cannot, not Nagila, but the Yuriko player cannot connect anymore. Everybody has blockers. So I'm just getting told we had a turn 1 Godo win in turn 2 Godo win in one of the other semifinals off camera. So that is one of our first finalists have been found. Congratulations to our Godo player. I think that is Samusman14. Okay, so also we see here the Lotus Petal, and now Yuriko untaps. I mean, I really like Nagila's position here, but the presence of that Ranger Captain really makes things awkward.
Yeah, it does. However, he can go just for a beatdown plan, drew cards with a phantasmal image that is copying Dimna, so he basically can build a lot of card advantage just by attacking and building something by baiting the Ranger Captain to go off.
Okay, so we're seeing Yuriko asking if Tremnik want to trade Chimna, and no, he does not. And I am sure we'll see the Siren Storm Tamer come back here. Yeah. Of course, tapping the island, because that's the worst land in play. Alright, back to Tremnik. So, just to recap, cards that are left in Tremnik's hand is a Mox Diamond, a Teferi, and a Pact of Negation, a Silence, a Jeska's Will, and whatever random cards been drawn from the Esper Sentinel and Timna. Okay. As we guessed right, Timna will attack right back, and we'll get a single card draw here. Seems like Tremnik is missing out on some land drops.
Yeah, he's lacking. His problem right now is finding mana. I think he's trying to draw cards to compensate that lack of mana, because basically he drew a lot of cards by now, and with his starting hand, he did have some kind of protection for him to go off. He does have the very time rival in hand, so that can be interesting for him to have.
Yeah, now we
another-
see the Mox Diamond here, so maybe he drew a land or we're just trying to play it. Yeah, okay, so we drew a land, and that's Windswept Heath getting discarded here, and now also Mox Opal is live.
Yep.
So that's a sort of a ramp for an extra mana here.
Now has 4 mana available.
Okay, and will this be Teferi?
If it is. I'm thinking it can be, but
I mean, if you play Teferi here, you are basically saying I am gonna have to pact, because Najeela is then protected. Oh, okay. Jessica's will.
with asking the number of cards in each player's hand, so
I assume that Najeela has the most cards in hand.
yeah, I believe so as well, or has the same cards as Rocco that has 5 cards.
5 cards. I think Najeela has 6 cards in hand. Yeah.
6.
So 6 red mana, and we will see the top 3.
Exiling the top 3 cards. There you go with our mana.
Yeah. Alright. So red mana is kinda awkward for the most part, but we do have that Mox Opal that can turn the... Oh, okay, so Fellowerstone, Cabal Ritual, and what is the middle card? Can you see that?
I'm trying to check on what card it is. Is it? No.
I wanna say Diabolic Intent, but it looks like it only costs 1. So we see the Fellowerstone at least. That makes sense.
Okay, it's Diabolic Intent. Yeah.
Okay. So, Diabolic Intent. I mean, this means that we can tutor for something here. So if we... Diabolic Intent, sacking the Chimna or the Esper Sentinel, that leaves 5 cards in the graveyard. Oh, that's not gonna be enough.
I think he is lacking 1 blue mana to go off with the Fury and the Displacer Kitten, basically.
But is there Displacer Kitten in the list?
He's not playing
No.
the Displacer Kitten with the Fairy.
But I do think we can add Nausea.
He might.
So there's 4 red mana floating. There's a Felwastone and there's a Mox Opal.
He can do the Cabal Ritual and netting 3.
Okay, so we're just making Crown. Okay. I think I would have utilized the tutor. It's 3 cards.
Yeah.
But it is also not great to sacrifice because both of your creatures are good. So I can also understand not doing it. And now we're gonna see how aggressive the Najeela player wants to go here, because Tremnek is basically tapped out. Only 1 mana left. Rocco is tapped out, but there is the slight issue of an onboard Ranger Captain.
Yeah. He does not have the information on what is in the hand of Tremnek, neither on the Rocco's hand that I thought. Oh no, it's the Najeela player that has the silence as well. So let's see how this will play out.
Are we seeing... Okay, so Najeela, I'm assuming, is attacking the Yuriko player here, and the Warriors will most likely be attacking the Rocco player. And I don't think Timna can attack.
Timna cannot attack.
I mean, he can attack,
Well,
but
he
you will
can
lose it.
Yeah. Well, you can draw from the tokens that they are putting.
Exactly.
So
So
building a great advantage on that turn. And now the Nagila trying to
yeah, Nagila going after Yuriko, and
Rocco.
yeah,
Yes.
Rocco is. So one of the warriors should be dead, right?
Yeah.
Assuming Rocco blocked, which I think.
The Nagila attacked the Rocco player. He could block with Ranger Captain, and if he did,
Oh, I like that. Trying to force
Yeah.
the block here. That's sneaky. But as we see, Rocco player did not fall for it. So we know that there is an enlightened tutor in the Rocco player's hand. So if we go in the upkeep, crack Ranger Captain, go for food chain. We have Wirewood Symbiote in hand. Can we maybe go all the way up?
I'm not sure, as he can go for. From
Basically needs 2 more creatures, right? Okay, so we see
in its upkeep, he cracks the Ranger Captain.
Which
so we
might see the food chain here. Wow. Okay. Exciting, very exciting. I mean, the last time we had Rocco on screen, I kind of felt they should have won. So I'm kind of rooting for Rocco here.
In that game, they interacted like a lot,
Like a
and
blue
now-
player.
and now without any interaction, basically just the Ranger Captain by pressuring the Nagila.
Yeah. I'm sure all the other Oh, are we seeing a stifle here? Oh,
Oh, a fem-
oh, okay. So just want to make sure, because you can cast it in the end step, that you get it off, so you draw the card.
yeah. And tapping himself wrongly, so we can't.
No, but you can tap
he
the
can't,
dark.
He can't tap that land because that land is just a filter land.
Exactly.
So
Very awkward.
yeah.
But I mean, you're not gonna use any mana this turn anyway.
He realized that misplay when the blue farm player pointed out the Esper Sentinel. It's one of those lands that basically it's almost last resource.
Yeah. You don't often see the filter lands outside of 2-color decks,
Yeah,
because they can be very awkward.
yeah, and even in 2-color decks, they are a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So, I am very excited to see what Rocco has in store for us here.
We do know that either Nagila and the blue farm player Tremnek have silence in hand, and there it goes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this can be an opening for the Nagila player,
Definitely, because now both silence effects are gone.
and he has one silence effect in hand.
Exactly. I think if he could have decided to mind control the opponents, this is exactly what would have happened. Okay, so just land pass here, I assume.
He can't play anything, so
And let's see what do you think Yuriko went for here?
I'm not sure, since last Yuriko game that we had here, it was like you build a board to kill everyone by damage, and then just task and consultation. So
No attack with Storm Tamer.
no,
That's
he's
interesting.
He's not.
Not gonna
putting
Yuriko in.
on board.
Otawara land for turn. Okay. 3 mana. What are we gonna see here? Ooh!
There you go.
Okay. Why play your commander when you can just draw the best cards in your deck?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, we know there is a Pact of Negation in Tremneck's hand.
The silence on his hand as well. On the Najil player.
Yeah, but silence is too late now.
Dogark, yeah. Even if he plays, he can play the demonic
Exactly.
consultation in response.
Okay, I mean, if this is how it wins, I do understand.
He does have 1 black in hand, so even with the he does have 1 black floating
Yeah.
from the filter land, and he does have also one blue mana available for the storm caller.
Is Siren Storm Ting.
Siren Storm.
Yeah, so we're gonna see. No, but that's not gonna work because the Najila player has plenty of mana here.
Yeah. In this case, yeah, it just.
Okay, Dispel. Okay, we're back. So I think this forces Tremneck to use the Pact, which unlocks his entire turn out.
Yeah. And if the if Tremneck plays the Pact of Negation, it will be completely tapped out next turn.
And then it's open season for Najila.
Yeah.
Wow, exciting stuff. Okay, so players are deliberating here.
With the amount of cards he drew with the Ninja of the Deep Hours, he might have other cards to protect himself as well.
Could definitely be, and we can also see Tremneck has a fat stack of cards laying in front of him. There is the Force of Negation there, I believe, wasn't that? In the Najila player's hand?
In the Nagila's player hand, I'm not sure. No, it's in the Yuriko's Yuriko's hand.
Yeah, okay, that doesn't do
that
much
does not
now.
work.
But it might help them to protect against Najila,
Yeah.
which means that we can go all the way around back to Rocco.
Exactly.
Okay, so
It's one trigger from the
Sentinel.
Sentinel.
Okay, so okay. Where are we at? We're still here. 1 black floating on the Yuriko players with Oracle on the stack. Then we have Najila answering with a Red Elemental Blast. Yuriko is answering back with a Dispel. We have a Esper Sentinel trigger on the stack. I believe Tremneck had drawn from the Crown, and this is where we're at. So there is some discussion at the table. Rocco kindly pointing out, I'm not a blue deck, you guys need to step in.
We need to interact. So they need to make a decision.
And we
Heard
see
from the judge that is helping on the table. So paying the 1 for the
Ooh, and
casting
now,
the silencing response.
but this is not gonna work. If there is another counterspell,
Yeah. It's forcing them to go off with the demonic consultation right now. To really difficult decision for
Very difficult.
the Yuriko player, as he knows that it will give it will if there is another counter.
Okay, so
for
now we have
the dispel. He will be without library. He will lose the game. So
this
really
is
risk.
a real cEDH stack here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we also have another Crown Trigger from the Nagila player's second spell of the turn, currently on the stack. At this point, I think the Nagila player has to accept that this will not work, because if they force it through, or try to force it through here, it seems rough.
Yeah.
But never say never. You Mad Bro is our only undefeated player, as we mentioned, so... Okay, and there we see the consultation. Wow.
He's trying to decide if he will risk it or not.
Are you gonna risk the biscuit or not? Oh, we are. But what are we naming then? Are we just...
trying to exile our deck?
Yeah, and hoping this one of the last cards are Pact of Negation?
Yeah.
But unfortunately we know that's not gonna work, because Tremnek has a Pact.
Yeah.
But this got a lot more exciting now that the silence was taken out, because now Tremnek can probably interact on Nagila's turn if we get that far. Okay!
Okay, there you
All in, no fear. I like it.
go. You're dead or you're dead, so just try to go off. A risky play.
It is definitely a risky play.
You'll need to find something. You'll need to find something to come out from those legendaries that win something.
And I think the consultation will resolve.
I do think as well, because Tremnek can still respond to the silence.
Yeah. But thus, I do not think it will.
No, I do not either.
Local player is thinking on how can interact. The Nagila player has the Mox Opal untapped, but the
And the
Mox Opal,
Volcanic Island.
the Mox Opal does not generate mana. It does not have
No.
Metalcraft.
It does not. But there is Volcanic and Tinderwall, so
Yeah.
So if we have 5 treasures, we can activate 2 times. But if you only have 3,
I am kind of surprised that you Mad Bro went this all in.
I think for the silence and for the Red Elemental Blast being played, that there will be no more interaction for him. Rocco cracking.
Rocco, are we gonna see Rocco trying to mess with the blue players again?
And I wouldn't. If I didn't saw the last game with him, I would say no, but I would not. I would be surprised if so. But this way, I would not be surprised if so.
Oh no, not at all. So, I think if what we're seeing, what can it be? Why we wanna fetch here? It's very exciting. Okay, so Temple Garden. So there is now the opportunity of endurance again,
Yeah.
but
Does it have in hand? Because last time he did have the survival to search for it at instant speed. No.
but you can't really cast endurance until the consultation has resolved.
Yeah, and even with consultation resolving, I do not think that Human Bro has enough as cards in graveyard that the devotion would be he does have
Yeah, it's 4 devotion. No,
I think
and that
2
is
cards on graveyard.
yeah.
so
There's a prismatic vista and the tutor.
Yeah, so even the endurance will not be the solution here.
Oh, source to plowshares.
Swords to plowshares, targeting something to give some draw to. This is to give some draw to Tremnek, but they don't know Tremnek has the pact of negation in hand.
If he's just been sitting saying, I have nothing, that is great playing. So, what do you think the sword is targeting here? Because I don't think you'd touch Najila. Or, sorry, not Najila, Yuriko.
Yeah. It's neat.
Oh, Tremnik, you are a master manipulator.
Incredible. So, it does draw from the Esper Sentinel.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so it was
it's
Timna, at least.
Timna.
Okay, so it. Okay, so Source to Plowshares have resolved. We are now back.
And
No,
the
we need
consultation
the consultation is next.
So,
And what are we seeing here now? Enlightened tutor. Okay, so yeah, this is the same situation as before. Just want to get your spell in
Yeah.
while you can. This actually means that there's another crown trigger. Let's see if Trembling remembers.
he's not forgetting them. So, but he does.
Seems to be forgetting it, yeah. What are you getting here? Food chain, just go for it.
Might get as enchantments. He has carpet, food chains, Darling Groove, survival, and library. He took his scroll and wild growth. So I
Could be
think
survival.
carpet, survival, or food chain.
Oh, it's just food chain.
Yeah.
Food chain wins games, as they say. But let's see if the turn goes all the way around to Rocco. I think we will.
So
We do need to see that pact from Tremnik here,
yeah,
right?
Well, he needs to let the consultation resolve.
Yeah.
And then, so consultation will resolve.
What happened to consultation? Something I don't really understand what's going on here.
So
So we just send a guy to get a clarification what's happening with the consultation.
just put its deck at the side.
Okay, so that's okay.
So now
It has already resolved or what?
yeah,
Okay,
and now the
now
pact
pact. I
on
mean, this is really good for Rago.
yeah, this can be really good for Rocco.
Okay, there we see clarification that the constitution has resolved.
So now we have Pact of Negation, countering Tassa's Oracle.
Yeah. And let's see. You mad bro? Can you respond to this as well? I mean, if you had one more mana, the Siren Storm Tamer could, but you don't.
It couldn't, as basically the Storm Tamer can only stop abilities or target a creature.
Oh.
So
Sure.
Tassa's Oracle is not yet on the battlefield, so it's a creature spell.
Yeah.
No. See if it has. Let's see.
Okay,
If it has
I
any.
do think this then means that unless there is a necromancy in the Yuriko player's hand, so we can upkeep cast an instant necromancy. I think the Yuriko is out here. Okay, silence resolved. Tremnek, we need to pay for pact.
It's the 5 mana that he has, so it's thinking on how to pay it.
Okay.
Will he open up for the Najila? He drew a lot of cards.
Oh yeah, has all the cards in the world. Possibly, maybe considering if they drew a Dark Ritual. Yeah.
Dark Ritual he already played, but
oh yeah,
Dark
Dark
Ritual.
Cabal. No,
Yeah,
Cabal is
Cabal,
also
yeah.
that's been exiled.
Yeah, exactly. So it's 3, 4. And what will we do with those 4 mana?
What does 4 mana instant speed do here?
I don't have one. I don't have anything that I can. Like I have.
Oh, Exile's Spirit
Exile.
Guide. Sure. Okay, so we have a 1 mana. Gotcha. Okay, draw for turn. And okay, now this looks very good for Najila, but with 2 mana and all the cards in the world, which means that this could actually, if I'm Najila here, I'm considering maybe not trying to go for it, because we know that there's a food chain, and if Rockos tries to put that on the stack, let Tremnek fight over that. Yuriko is already out, and then in the next orbit, maybe you can.
You will only need to deal with the blue farm that drew a lot of cards, so it can be a little bit risky as well. So
Yeah.
there are no perfect choices over here now.
But a lot have happened in this game already. And what is this? Is this the 4th turn? Yeah, already. And look at those graveyards and libraries exiled already. Impressive stuff.
With 2 mana,
Okay.
casting Dockside. So
Ooh, I mean, we are not stopping here. Tremnek is going for it. Okay, and I'm just getting told that Sisei wins the other match here on the feature match, I believe, the other feature match table. So now we have Sisei and we have Godo in the finals. Okay, back to the game at hand. Looks like Darkside has resolved, and it is getting 4 treasures by my count.
yeah, 4 treasures. However, it can get only 3 if the local player decides to crack his Lotus Petal.
Yeah.
I think it's still deciding if he wants to do that or not. There are many times that 1 mana makes the difference, so
Many times. Like the delta between 1 and 2 mana and so forth is enormous in this format. You can do so much with so little.
there you go.
Okay, cracking. I like that. Always play responsible.
Now win this. Even that you shut us out.
Okay, so 3 treasures. And I assume
I saw your first level was like where did you like?
Phantasmal, probably just copying Darkside to get 3 more.
Right? Second
There you
time.
go.
This is the second game that we played. And on the previous game it was the second. We didn't suck any.
And then what are we gonna see? Timna, draw some cards.
He might try to go off right now, as he already knows that the other players do not have any response. So
I mean, you, as we have seen, you only need 3 mana, blue, blue, black.
exactly.
and he has been drawing a lot of cards. So there's a table discussion here.
He does know that Robo has the food chain in the top of his library, so this can be decisive for him to try to go off right now or to pass the turn.
Yeah. So when you're this far ahead on mana, on cards, I like being patient here. You will draw cards, you will grind out the others, because Rocco and Najila cannot grind as good as Timna Kram can.
Yeah.
So that's my assessment here. I would do that, but also we haven't seen what all the players have been drawing for the last many turns.
Trying to negotiate in the table to
Okay, so it seems like stuff is no. Okay, no, nothing is happening yet. Still a lot of deliberation, and it's understandable. Remember, we are playing for a tropical island. That is not nothing. So you don't want to make any hasty decisions. You want to be sure that you're making the right moves.
card advantage that he has.
So I don't know, like I would start to think that we needed to make a game move, because we need to move the game forward, even though it is a really complex situation we're in. So it could be interesting knowing what the discussion is here, but unfortunately we cannot hear. So Toxic Deluge. So Toxic for 2?
Yeah, if he kills both the Dog Side and the Esper Sentinel,
but also takes out Najila and all the other creatures. Oh, so it's only for 1? No, for 2. Okay, now I really like Tremnek's position here.
For 3 to kill Najila. Najila is 2, so it's for 2.
Yeah.
It's a 3-2.
Okay, and we're on to the Najila's players here. Do remember, there is a Breach and there is a Wishclaw in hand here from the Najila player. No, Marcus, it is a lot is happening. We are trying to translate it as good as we can for you guys, but there is also some downtime because it is so complex that the players do need to discuss how to play optimally. But we will try to encourage the players to be a bit faster,
especially when there is a lot in this in the game, such as this one.
Yeah. Okay, so another dark side. Okay. I really like this here now.
We'll net 4 mana for sure, and he may force the treasure and the lotus to be sacrificed.
Okay, Okay, so we also get the token sacrificed. Again, nice to see players being responsible here, not giving away free value. So 4 treasures by my count. But that's a nice upgrade. You turn 2 mana into 4 of any color. And there's still a colorless floating. Okay. So, are you going for it here?
I think so. It does have a Phantasmal Image in hand as well, so...
No, that was already used to copy the Timna.
Yeah, true.
So I think, yeah, we're gonna see the Witch Claw here.
Yeah.
If you get... Yeah, you can either get Intuition.
You can basically go for pass to the second main phase, to the floating mana goes off, and try to go for Breach.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happens here. We are changing phases.
Now it does have a lot of mana and Unfathomable Breach in hand and the tutor on the table.
Yeah. Okay. So, what are you getting here?
You can get Adnos, as chat is saying, but
I don't want to go Adnars. I just want either Intuition or Brain Freeze.
Yeah, exactly. As he does have the Underworld Breach in hand, that can make the difference to go for a safer way of going out and try to win the game from
Exactly.
that.
I agree that, Adnos gives more protection, that is true, but it's still, like, you cannot beat the first counterspell anyway, so why make your life total like the factor here when you cannot beat a counterspell anyway? That's my take on it anyway. Because you can win with Breach here. I don't see Boseiju mana.
It does not have Boseiju mana.
There's no green.
Plateau and a Sol Ring, so white and red.
Okay, let's see if we can catch a glimpse.
Okay.
Did you see what that was?
No.
No, that was too fast for me as well.
So
Oh, and that is nice. Give the one two that's already dead.
yeah, if it goes wrong, it's okay. It's okay, partially.
Okay. So, yeah. Okay. I think I saw a Brain Freeze in hand now, so that could be it. But I still like just going for Intuition.
Those 5 mana, he will go for... He does go for an Adnos with 27 life.
Looks like O'Connor was right.
Yeah.
Adnos from 27. And it seems like it also... We do know there is a Force of Negation in the hand of the Yuriko player. We don't know if there's a blue card, but we also know that the Yuriko player most likely is out of this game.
Yeah, it does have a blue card in hand, but what it does not bring any advantage to him to counter it. It does have the Temporal Mastery,
That is true.
so he can counter it, but there is no reason for it.
I mean,
Is
again, if there is a, what's it called, necromancy,
Yeah.
then there he's very much still alive, but I mean, I'm not even sure Yuriko plays necromancy.
I think it does not.
No. Okay, so
And
there is a force here.
they are
Interesting.
saying to him that he is dead already. So
Yeah, I'm assuming that's
yeah,
what's going on here. So
we are.
maybe we can get somebody to go and check what's going on, and because this is very interesting what's going on here.
Yeah,
So
it
there
might be a
is-
spite play.
This
so
is part of what makes multiplayer kind
so
of weird,
complex. Yeah.
because I mean, technically no magic rules are being broken here.
Yeah, but in fact, it's a player that does not have any chance, and he is just stopping another player to.
Yeah.
However, if the game ends in a tie, it's him who passes to the final. He was the player.
That is very true. But I have a hard time seeing this ending in a draw.
Yeah.
But that is true. He can argue that yes, if I stop here and time goes out, there's 56 minutes left.
There is 1 hour and 5 minutes left. 1 hour and 4 minutes left.
Oh yeah, sorry, it's going.
So yeah, I do not think.
I don't think, but with that argument, I can actually buy the force.
They are
Okay,
in a-
so there is a judge call here, and I have to admit I am not really sure what cEDH Portuguese League's rules are on this. Do you know that?
the every spite play, I think it's considered as almost as not a valid play. I'm not sure to. Basically, we try to follow the same rules as Monarch and as the Ares, the document that was
Yeah.
written for a multiplayer game recently last year.
No, but yeah, O'Connor there, I agree that the Urza player has 0 chances of winning. However, should this game somehow be a draw, the rules are that the player coming into the semifinals with the highest seed, which you, Mad Bro, the Urza player his, it was seed 1. So, in case of a draw, Urza should go into the finals. So I think we have a clarification now. Okay, so I don't know if you heard this, so I'm just gonna say it again. So apparently the Rocco player said that he has endurance in hand and can save.
And probably doesn't have the endurance in hand, so it's like I can do that.
He said he can play the endurance.
Yeah, to save him.
Might not have the endurance.
Okay, again, so apparently there is a negotiation saying that if the force of negation resolves, then the Rocco player might have endurance that can save the Urza player, but we all also know that there on top of the Rocco player's deck is a food chain.
So he could, but
So yeah, O'Connor, right now the situation is that yes, Rocco player saves Urza, so Urza saves the table.
yeah.
And I don't know how the judge call is going. So it looks like somebody is talking to the judge away from the table. We'll give you updates as soon as we get them. We promise.
This is what I was telling about Juan Pego and his capability of negotiating with the table. It's incredible how people go on its talk. Basically, he had a game. I think it was in our last tournament, in the semifinals as well, where he played in semifinals or during the rounds still, where he played a carpet of flowers and said it was to interact with another player, and everyone bought it.
Yeah, so, but actually in Nemsor, I agree with that. I would love to see that. I just think it's almost impossible to make happen.
Yeah.
At least in live play.
incredible. Basically, almost with a clock, chess clock.
Yes. So, if there's anybody listening out there, Magic Online, MTGO would be a way to do this. Host tournaments on there, but as we all know, live play is still much better.
Yeah. If even spell table play, it's not near as good as it is to play in person match.
Yeah, so again, as soon as we know what the end of this discussion is, we will update you. And that sounds like this third of the semifinals ended. We'll get an update on what deck and what player is going to the finals. So it seems like the match on camera will be the last semifinal to end.
Yeah, it is.
Casa del Comandante, I don't want to comment on what players should and shouldn't do. I have my opinions, and I am...
It's not considered spy play because they made the deal for the ingredients. So they did to somehow manage to keep ingredients to save the ingredients. Okay. That's what is put on the table, and it's somehow that's part of the deal.
Okay, so I don't know if you heard that, but yeah, it is, as we laid it in front of you before, there's a deal being made where if the Yuriko player counters this, the Rocco player will save the Yuriko player with an endurance. According to the judge, this is, or in the rules, this is not a spite play. This is a deal that's being made. I agree with that. Some may not agree with that, but that is the rules of this tournament right now. So I think we are now here with Adnos being exiled, yes, and we are back to game. So Esper Sentinel is coming down here. And the commotion you heard before meant that Malcolm Tanner is now in the finals with Godo and Cisse. So we just need this game to end, and something tells me we're gonna see a food chain attempt now.
I think so. That would be incredible if it does win. Right now, this is the capability of Manpego of talking to the table, talking in the table. This is the type of play that, well, I'm not a big, I personally am not a big fan of table talk, but I do agree that it has a great impact on the game, and that people should always think based on what the other players are saying. And when this has such an impact is having such an impact right now, that
Definitely. So, but we'll see. I mean, the game is not over yet.
Yeah.
That's all we know. All the players are still alive, as far as we know. And I think we are now onto the phase where the Rocco player might or might not just win.
Yeah. I can play the endurance, but he can, but he might not do it.
Yeah, and the players are now discussing so loud that we can basically hear what they're saying.
Or that.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just smile if that happens, because that is, in my opinion, beautifully managed. You might not like it, but he's playing to his outs.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. Okay, I think the turn has passed. We have drawn a food chain. shocking in a Sacred Foundry. Let's see if we can find a food chain.
Everyone is tapped out. And
Yep.
there are no answers. As
Most
that
likely no
play-
answers.
As that play just happened. So
Okay, so let's hope the game moves a bit faster from here. So it seems like we're going back to some this sort of discussion again here. At this point, I have to agree. I think like decisions have been made. We just need to play the game now. Rocco for 2, which will make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 treasures.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The mana crypt and the mox opal be below that are below the lands. The Esper
1, 2,
Sentinel
3, 4, 5, 6.
and Wishclaw Talisman.
Oh, Wishclaw, of course, yeah. 7, okay.
So now
Jim, I agree. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be what had happened. And now we just have to move on. Food chain.
yeah,
And
he does have mana to go for the Sui. Play all the creatures,
yep,
including endurance.
including endurance, and then kill everybody.
Then kill everybody.
I mean, it's completely fair if some people don't like this. I think it's a sweet play to
It's playing with the players, not only playing the game.
exactly. That's fair. I don't think it's team making. I think it's playing to your outs here because you would have lost to Adnos. But I do understand and respect if people disagree. This is just my opinion.
Yeah. It was his only chance for keeping himself alive. was
Exactly.
Taking that deal. So
Yeah, the game would have ended most likely with the Adnos.
yeah. So
And now we're making infinite creature mana and casting Rocco to get all the creatures out of the deck.
the
Terror of the Peak,
Terror of the Peak.
casting creatures, killing people, and at least show them their endurance.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Not-
I unless I'm missing something, it looks like Rocco is winning here. And yes, I see a match slip. Okay, so our finals is gonna be Rocco, it's gonna be Godo, it's gonna be Sisse, and it's gonna be Malcolm Tanner.
Exactly.
What a game.
Incredible.
What an incredible game. I mean, it is definitely gonna be a lot of discussion
Yeah.
about this. I've said my piece about it.
Yeah.
Now it's up to you. But as I said, we have our finals
Yeah.
now.
In
We have Rocco, we have Sisse, we have Godo, and we have Tana Malcolm. We're gonna give the players a couple of minutes to collect their thoughts and shuffle up, and then we will be back with the finals. So in the meantime, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the videos, go buy some cards on Cardmarket, go support Monarch and Eminence, go buy some altar sleeves, support Mercadia, the new store in Lisbon, and with that out, we will be back in a minute.
yeah.
Welcome to SplitSecond, your channel for watching EDH and cEDH gameplay, as well as spicy deck techs. Here you can definitely expect clutch plays and gigantic stacks, gameplay insights and hand analysis, risky keeps that might have not paid off, victories without Thassa's Oracle, players who tap their permanents both ways, and much, much more. If you enjoy our content, feel free to hit that subscribe button and join us every week. And of course, you are more than welcome to integrate our awesome Discord community and speak with us about our games, your deck ideas, or just share some wholesome pet photos. Click on any of the videos below to watch our matches, and let's start breaking the stack.
Thank you for checking out Monarch Media, where ideas and causes worth talking about collide with Magic's most ferocious format. If you like what we do, consider checking us out on Patreon, Twitch, or our Discord.
Play with your best decks. Play the best tournaments. Play your best character. Play with your best friends. Mercadia. Play your best.
Hello everybody. I just wanted to make sure everybody understood what just happened. So I called Thiago over. He's the head judge of the tournament. So Thiago, can you explain to us what just happened?
Yeah, for sure. I'll give my best. So there was a player playing ad nauseum, right? So he was casting it and threatening to win the match. And so the player who was not going to play afterwards, but the next one, had a counter in hand, force of negation. So he could stop this player from winning. And the question then arose that maybe he was preventing this player from winning and making sure the next one was winning. But this player with the force of negation also did not have a deck, as you might have checked on stream. And the player, after the player casting ad nauseum, said, I have an endurance, so I can cast it on you and make sure you have a deck and survive. So the player casting Force of Negation tried to play to his outs, which were, if I do not do anything now, I'm going to lose. If I do counter it and I do get the endurance, because he was not 100% sure that the other player was going to be able to win. So he played the only out that he had, which was, I'm going to have to try to stop this guy and then let the other guy give me a chance to play. Because if this resolves, I lose. If this doesn't, and I'm not 100% sure this other guy can win. So it's not a great situation, but he had to play the out that he had.
And I completely agree. So thank you for coming on.
No,
just giving a clarification, because there was a lot of discussion behind the booth and in the chat. So I just want to make sure everybody knew what the correct decision was.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation. You know, Kings making multiplayers always is, but I think it was the correct one. So hopefully.
Thank you again.
No,
thank you, Thiago, and we'll be on a short break again, and we will bring you the finals of the MostWanted tournament here from Lisbon in Portugal. See you soon.
Today we bring you the finals of our tournament Battle for the Wheel of Fortune, featuring Thiago, Kaká, Danilo and Bal competing fiercely for the first place. Danilo is playing Kazur Ukima food chain list, which consists on quickly assembling a food chain loop and killing the table with its commander Ukima. Kaká is playing a Timna Crown Blue Farm list, a deck that seeks to be the fastest deck, winning with Consultation Tassa or Honorable Breach and Lead combo. Bal is playing Evolution Kenrith list. This deck usually seeks to outvalue other decks at the table by multiple card draw lines and tends to win with Consultation Tassa combos as well. Thiago is playing Yizan Wanderer Bard. This is an adaptive deck with multiple stacks pieces to slow down its opponents and winning by beatdown or by Thought-Knot Seer loops. After his mulligan, Bal kept a hand with a Marsh Flats, a Deathrite Shaman for early ramp, a Dark Confident for card advantage, a Vampiric Tutor and an Imperial Seal to gather his combo pieces or some interaction if needed, an Abrupt Decay for interaction, and an Hellish Norn for value. Thiago kept his first hand with 3 snow-covered forests, a Boreal Druid to ramp, and an Elvish Reclaimer to tutor for an utility land, a Trinisphere to slow down its opponents, and a Force of Vigor for interaction. Danilo also kept his first hand with a Command Tower, an Emergency Zone and a Bayou, Mana Vault and Elvish Mystique for ramp, a Tainted Pact to start his combo, and a Rhystic Study for card advantage. Kaká also had 2 mulligan once and kept a hand with a Bloodstained Mire, a Marsh Flats and an Arid Mesa, a Chrome Mox and a Dark Ritual for ramp, an Ad Nauseam and an Honorable Bridge. Bal plays a Marsh Flats, fetching for an Underground Sea, taking 1 damage, and plays a Deathrite Shaman and passes the turn. Thiago plays a Snow-Covered Forest and also ramps by playing a Boreal Druid. Danilo plays a Command Tower followed by a Llanowar Elves, and ends his turn. Kaká plays a Polluted Delta fetching for an Underground Sea and also passes. On his turn, Bal skips his land drop and decides to play Dark Confident for some much needed card advantage and passes the turn. Thiago untaps, plays another Snow-Covered Forest and plays his commander Yizan and passes the turn to Danilo. On his turn, he plays a Mana Confluence followed by a Ponder to find some interaction. He can't find anything on his top 3 cards, so he decides to shuffle his deck and draw a card. Kaká on his turn plays a Bloodstained Mire fetching for a Badlands, taking 1 damage, and plays a Chrome Mox, exiling a Gilded Drake, finishing his turn. On Bal's upkeep, he reveals a Gemstone Cavern to the Dark Confident trigger and takes no damage. He then proceeds to his draw and plays a Taiga on his first main phase. He moves to combat, attacking Kaká for 2 damage with his Dark Confident, and passes the turn in case some interaction is needed. Thiago starts his turn by playing yet another Snow-Covered Forest, followed by an Elvish Reclaimer, in hopes to find an utility land next turn. Danilo plays a Bayou, and tries to play a Rhystic Stud. Kaká responds and tries to go off by playing a Dark Ritual to cast his Ad Nauseam, although Bal casts his Flusterstorm targeting Kaká's Ad Nauseam, and since Kaká has no way to stop Bal's Flusterstorm, the Ad Nauseam is countered and the Rhystic Study enters the battlefield. After that, Danilo takes 1 damage from the Mana Confluence and plays a Mana Vault, passing the turn to Kaká. On his turn, he plays a Marsh Flats, fetching for a Plateau and decides to ramp by playing Arcane Signet, not paying for the Rhystic trigger. Bal starts his turn with a Dark Confident trigger, revealing a Birds of Paradise and taking 1 damage. He plays a Gemstone Caverns and decides to attack Danilo for 2 damage. After that, he plays a Birds of Paradise, paying the Rhystic Study trigger. In Bal's end step, Thiago activates his ability, but Kaká in response casts Opposition Agent, triggering Rhystic Study, to which Bal responds to the trigger by casting a Vampiric Tutor, paying for the Rhystic Study's trigger. The tutor resolves, and then Danilo draws a card, the Opposition Agent enters the battlefield, allowing Kaká to resolve Yizan's ability, exiling an Allosaurus Shepherd. Moving to Thiago's turn, he starts by moves to combat, attacking Kaká and trying to force him to block with his Opposition Agent, but Kaká decides to take the damage instead. Thiago decides to slow down the game and plays a Trinisphere, passing the turn. Danilo plays an Emergency Zone. He then plays a Tainted Pact, to which no one responds, and he proceeds to find the food chain. He then plays a Culling Ritual, destroying almost all the battlefield and adding 5 black mana and 4 green mana to his mana pool. He proceeds to play a Praetor's Grasp targeting Kaká, searching for his Tainted Pact and casting it right away, putting a delay in his hand. Danilo decides to try and win the game, and casts Food Chain followed by an Elvish Mystique, but the table warns him right away that he only has 1 mana left and cannot cast the Elvish Mystique because of the Trinisphere tax. On Kaká's turn, he plays his commander Timna, thinking about getting some value out of it, and moves to combat attacking Danilo. He remembered Kaká of the Ristic Study trigger that he didn't pay, so he draw a card, and after that Kaká passes a turn. On Bal's turn, he untaps and takes a minute to decide on what to do, but ends up passing the turn in case some interaction is needed. Tiago starts his turn by moving to combat and attacking Kaká once more for 2 damage with Izan, and on his second main phase he surprises the table by casting a Force of Vigor, targeting Danilo's Ristic Study and Food Chain, paying for the Ristic trigger. With the threat dealt with, Tiago ends his turn. Just like Ball, Danilo also decides to pass the turn and save mana just in case. Moving to Kaká's turn, he plays an Arid Mesa, fetching for a Volcanic Island and casts his second Commander Crown, to which Danilo responds right away with a delay countering it. Kaká lets Crown go to the exile with 3 suspend counters on it and moves to combat, sending Tymna at Tiago and the opposition agent at Bal. Before damage, Bal casts an Abrupt Decay on Tymna, stopping Kaká from buying more cards. With Tymna dead, Bal takes the damage and Kaká ends his turn. Bal on his turn is a bit unsure on what to play, but ends up paying 3 to cast a Lotus Petal, and passes the turn to Tiago. Tiago starts his turn by playing a Duskwatch Recruiter, moves to combat sending Izan at Danilo for 2 damage, and ends his turn. Since the game state is a bit controlled, Danilo simply plays an Elvish Mystique on his turn and passes to Kaká. On his turn, he plays Tymna for the second time, moving to combat right away, sending his opposition agent at Bal, triggering Tymna's ability to buy a card, and ends his turn. Bal moves to his turn and plays a Phantasmal Image copying Tymna, seeking for some card advantage, and passes to Tiago. On his turn, he simply moves to combat, sending Izan once more at Danilo and ends his turn. At Danilo's upkeep, Tiago's Duskwatch Recruiter triggers and transforms into Krallen Horde Howler. Danilo then takes a moment to decide on what to do and plays an Elves of Deep Shadow, passing the turn. Kaká begins his turn by moving straight to combat, sending Tymna at Danilo and the opposition agent at Bal. Although Bal is reluctant on losing his Phantasmal Image, he decides to block the opposition agent, with it killing both opposition agent and Phantasmal Image. Danilo, on the other hand, decides to take the damage, triggering Tymna's ability. On his second main phase, Kaká plays a Mana Crypt and a Sol Ring and ends his turn. At Bal's upkeep, Tiago's Krallen Horde triggers and transforms back into Duskwatch Recruiter. Bal then plays a Dockside Extortionist, creating 3 treasures, and passes to Tiago. On his hand step, Tiago activates Duskwatch Recruiter's ability, revealing a Circle of Dreams Druid, and puts it into his hand. Since the opposition agent is dead, Tiago decides to play safe and pass the turn. Danilo also decides to pass the turn and save some mana in case some interaction is needed. At the beginning of Kaká's upkeep, he has 2 triggers on the stack. He first rolls a die and escapes from the creep damage, and the last suspend trigger is removed from Crown, so he casts it from the exile, but the other players remind him that he still needs to pay from the Trinisphere tax, so he proceeds to pay 3 mana for Crown. With Crown already on the battlefield, he proceeds to combat, sending Tymna at Danilo and Crown at Tiago. They both take the damage, triggering Tymna's ability to draw, and on his second main phase, he plays a Spellseeker, fetching for a Brain Freeze. At the beginning of Bal's upkeep, Tiago's Krallen Horde triggers once again and transforms back into the Squatch Recruiter. After some consideration, Bal proceeds to play Survival of the Fittest and discards right away an Eternal Witness to fetch for Dranit's Magistrate, which he plays before passing the turn, triggering Kaká's Crown to draw a card. Before moving to his turn, Tiago activates Izan to fetch a Scavenging Ooze, which he activates right away, exiling Kaká's opposition agent, gaining 1 life this way, and after some advices from the table, Kaká's Tainted Pact as well. On his turn, Tiago moves straight to combat, sending Scavenging Ooze to Kaká, dealing 2 damage. On his end step, Danilo plays an Ad Nauseam, to which Kaká quickly responds with an Unsubstantiate. After his Ad Nauseam getting countered, Danilo decided not to play anything on his turn and passes to Kaká. At the beginning of Kaká's upkeep, Tiago's Squatch Recruiter triggers, once again transforming into Krallen Horde. Kaká then plays a Watery Grave, moves to combat, sending Crown at Danilo and triggering Tymna's ability to draw a card. On his second main phase, he plays a Wishclaw Talisman and tries to go off by casting an Underworld Bridge, without noticing Bal's Dranit's Magistrate. is still alive. Kaká then decides to activate Wishclaw Talisman, giving it to Tiago and passing the turn sacrificing the Underworld Bridge. Bal starts his turn by doing some threat assessment on the table and decides to play safe by casting a Mana Vault and passing the turn. On his end step, Tiago activates Izan's ability, to which Danilo responds with his Ad Nauseam, taking 11 damage. With that, Tiago fetches for a Landward Tribe and activates Scavenging Ooze to exile Bal's Eternal Witness and Phantasmal Image, gaining 2 life this way. Tiago begins his turn by playing a Snow-Covered Forest, followed by a Circle of Dreams Druid. He then moves to combat, sending Krallen Horde to Danilo and the Scavenging Wool at Bal. They both take the damage, and on his second main phase, he plays a Manglehorn, triggering Crown. Manglehorn then resolves, destroying Kaká's Soul Ring, and Tiago ends his turn. At the beginning of Danilo's turn, Krallen Horde triggers, transforming into the Squatch Recruiter. On his main phase, Danilo plays a Carpet of Flowers and moves to his second main phase, adding 2 black mana to his mana pool. He then plays an Opposition Agent, to which Tiago responds, activating Izan, fetching for a Thought-Knot Seer. Tiago then looks at Kaká's hand and exile a Thassa's Oracle, and with that the opposition enters the battlefield and Danilo ends his turn. At the beginning of Kaká's turn, he rolls a die and takes 3 damage from the Mana Creep trigger. He moves straight to combat, sending everything at Danilo. Danilo is obligated to block with everything, or else he dies. After damage resolves, Spellseeker, Elves of Deep Shadow and Elvish Mystic both die, and Kaká draws a card from the Teamless trigger. He then discards out to 7 and ends his turn. On his turn, Bal decided, after some threat assessment, that he needs to do something about Tiago. So he plays an Hellish Norn, dealing with most of the problem, and moves to his end step. Before Tiago's turn, Kaká plays a Snapback, targeting Izan, sending it to his hand. Still, Tiago reveals that he had an Ashai ready for next turn. On Tiago's upkeep, Kaká preferred to play safe and cast an Angel's Grace, guaranteeing that Tiago wouldn't win. Yet, Tiago moves to combat and sends his Thought-Knot Seer at Danilo, killing him this way and ending the final. Due to the COVID pandemic, the finals had a time limit, so after Tiago killed Danilo, the game had to end, and because the game ended in a tie, the staff had to use tiebreaks to decide the winner. After the staff gathered, the positions were the following. The 4th place goes to Danilo, playing Kazur Ukima. The 3rd place goes to Kaká, playing Team Necrau. The 2nd place goes to Bal, piloting Kenrith, and the 1st place goes to Tiago, piloting Izan. Gambas begins this match playing a Sacred Foundry, following it with a Mox Diamond pitching a Plains and playing his commander Cole before passing. Fabio moves to his turn. He plays a Training Center and passes. Kaká draws. He plays a Mana Confluence, following it with a Chrome Mox, pitching an Enlightened Tutor. He tries to play a Dranith's Magistrate, but Fabio is quick on this response, having a Force of Will on the ready. He takes one and exiles a Veyran for the Force, successfully countering the Dranith. Kaká ends his turn. Henrique on his turn plays a Sandstone Needle and passes. Gambas on his second turn starts by playing a Spectator Sitting. After some consideration, he plays a Storm Rider Rig, ending this turn. Fabio on his main phase plays a River Glide Pathway. He follows it right away with his commander Krark. No one responds and Fabio ships a turn to Kaká. He draws, plays a Misty Rainforest, loses 1 life to fetch for an Underground Sea, and casts a Rhystic Study, but Gambas in response plays a Pyroblast to counter it. Since he stepped out, Kaká passes. Henrique untaps. On his main phase he plays a Badlands, follows it with his commander Anje. It resolves and Henrique passes. Gambas draws. He plays a basic mountain, following it with a Birgi and equips the Storm Rider rig on it due to his trigger before passing. Fabio moves to his turn. He plays a Mana Confluence, and it's his turn to try and cast a Rhystic Study for some much needed card advantage. It resolves, and he ends his turn. Kaká draws. He plays a Godless Shrine untapped, followed by his commander Tymna to get some value out of it. Henrique on his turn decides to draw and pass, leaving mana open. Gambas draws. He plays a Mana Confluence and moves straight to combat, sending Birgi at Fabio for 4 damage. Fabio takes it and Gambas passes, imitating Henrique, leaving money open just in case. Fabio begins his turn by playing an Imperial Recruiter. It resolves, and Fabio fetches for Dockside to his hand and passes. In his end step, Henrique activates Anges 4 times, he plays a Shadow of the Grave to return all cards discarded this way, and with it, Henrique activates Ange 8 more times. Kaká moves to his turn, casts a Cabal Ritual, following it with his commander Crown, not paying for the Rhystic both times and giving 2 draws to Fabio in the process. Kaká moves to combat afterwards, sending Tymna at Fabio for 2 damage, and Crown at Henrique for 4 damage. They both take it, and on Kaká's second main phase, he draws 2 cards from Tymna's trigger and passes. On Kaká's end step, Henrique activates Ange, but in response Kaká plays a Snapback, exiling a Spell Pierce, not paying for the Rhystic, stopping Henrique from a possible early win. Henrique goes to his turn. On his main phase he plays a Snow-Covered Swamp, follows it with a Chrome Mox, exiling a Demonic Tutor and passes, discarding down to 7. Gambas draws, and rushes straight to combat, sending Birgi once again at Fabio for 4 damage, and call at Henrique for 2 damage. After damage, Gambas passes. Fabio moves to his turn. He plays a Polluted Delta, taking 1 damage to fetch for a Volcanic Island. He plays a Mox Diamond, pitching a Flooded Strand, and takes a moment. He plays his second commander Sakashima, triggering Crown, and entering the battlefield as a copy of Krark. He moves to combat, sending both Krark and Imperial Recruiter at Kaká for 3 damage, passing the turn afterwards. Kaká draws, and moves straight to combat, sending once again Tymna at Fabio for 2 damage and Krark at Henrique for 4 damage. They both take the damage, and on his second main phase he draws for Tymna's ability. He plays a Flooded Strand, taking 1 damage to fetch for a Volcanic Island, plays a Gamble, paying for the Rhystic, and discards a Demonic Consultation. Not finished yet, Kaká casts a Toxic Deluge, paying 4 life, this time not paying for the Rhystic. Fabio draws and takes the opportunity to play a Flusterstorm, triggering Krark and his clone. Coins were flipped and 3 copies of the Flusterstorm go onto the stack, on top of the original Flusterstorm. So, without a doubt, countering the Toxic Deluge. With that, Kaká attempts to end his turn, and still at the end step, Henrique casts a Vampiric Tutor. Fabio plays a Mog Savage, targeting the Chrome Mox, triggering Crown and his commanders. Fabio creates 2 more copies of Mog Savage. The first one destroying Henrique's Chrome Mox, the second one destroying Gambas Storm Rider rig, and fizzling this way the original Mog Savage. Henrique moves to his turn. On his main phase, he plays a Jeweled Lodge, not paying for the Rhystic. He proceeds to play his commander Ange without paying for the Rhystic yet again and triggering Crown. It resolves and he passes afterwards. Gambas goes to his turn. He plays a Blasting Station, paying for the Rhystic. He follows it with a Shield Sphere, triggering Crown and paying for the Rhystic. It resolves. Gambas then decides to sacrifice it to the Blasting Station, targeting Sakashima, and passes without noticing that Sakashima was a clone of Krark. Fabio on his turn plays a Wooded Foothills. He moves to combat, sending Krark and the Imperial Recruiter again at Kaká for 3 damage. On his second main phase, he plays an Harmonic Prodigy and passes. Kaká moves to his turn. He plays an Ancient Tomb. He moves to combat, sending Crown at Fabio for 4 damage and Tymna at Henrique for 2 damage. On his second main phase, Tymna triggers and Kaká draws 2 cards. he plays a Grim Monolith, not paying for the Rhystic. He follows it with an Intuition, paying for the Rhystic. He fetches for a Silence, an Underworld Breach and a Lead. Enrique chose to give him the Lead and the rest to his graveyards. He plays it without paying for the Rhystic and follows it with a Sevin's Reclamation. Fabio sacrifices his Wooded Foothills to fetch for a Mountain. He remembers Kaká about the Rhystic and Kaká lets him draw. Enrique responds with a Deflecting Swat not paying for the Rhystic, to which Kaká responds immediately with a Miscast, again not paying for the Rhystic. Fabio then responds with a Dual Caster Mage to create a copy of the Deflecting Swat. It resolves, so Fabio changes the target of the Sevin's Reclamation to a Flooded Strand, cleaning the stack this way and Kaká passes. On his end step, Enrique still activates Ange and moves to his turn. He draws. He begins his turn activating Ange one time and plays a Scalding Tarn, cracking it, losing 1 life to fetch for a Blood Crypt and tapped before passing. Gambas goes to his turn. He plays an Abrade paying for the Rhystic and triggering Birgi, targeting the Harmonic Prodigy. Fabio responds immediately with a Brightstone Ritual triggering Krark, its clones and the Harmonic Prodigy. Fabio creates 2 copies of the Brightstone Ritual, adding 4 red mana to his mana pool, and the Harmonic Prodigy gets +1/+1, stopping Gambas from killing it. Gambas then plays Goblin Engineer triggering Crown, Birgi and paying for the Rhystic. It resolves, so Gambas fetches for a Shuku to his graveyard. After some consideration, Gambas decides to activate Blasting Station, sacrificing Birgi to kill the Harmonic Prodigy. And in response, Fabio once again uses the Brightstone Ritual loop, triggering this time Krark, its clone, the Harmonic Prodigy and Crown. Once again, coins were flipped, and Fabio creates 1 copy of the ritual and the Harmonic Prodigy gets +1/+1 again, surviving the Blasting Station damage. Gambas decides to pass the turn, but Fabio decides to play safe and repeats the Brightstone Ritual loop 2 more times, making sure Gambas wouldn't kill it later. Fabio draws, plays a Command Tower, follows it with a Mana Crypt and casts to Solve the Equation, triggering Krark, its clone, the Harmonic Prodigy and Crown. Fabio creates 4 copies, and decides to resolve them one at a time. The first one he fetched for a Pact of Negation, the second one for a Heat Shimmer, the third one for a Gamble, the fourth one for a Fierce Guardianship, and the original spell for a Twin Flame. Winner winner chicken dinner. After all this tutoring of unlikely odds, Fabio decides to try and go for the win. He starts
New face with me here, the voice of SplitSecond, who sends us all on a great weekend every Friday. Bal, welcome here.
Thank you, thank you.
How has your tournament been today? Obviously not that good since you're here with me, but other than that?
Other than that, just okay, I think.
It's okay. So what were we playing today?
Bruce Razius, based on Comedian's List, with a couple of tweaks, some recent additions, some changes, and basically Don Waker Razius.
Okay, sounds good. So how has, I obviously don't want to tread too much in it, but how has the day been? Any spicy decks, any insane plays, anything you can share with us?
First game was unwinnable, which was the player going first had a turn 1 creek into turn 2 win, so that's at least crazy.
That happens.
Undisputable there. And then there was an interesting match, game 3, which I actually played quite aggressively, attempting to win 3 turns in a row because there was a Magus of the Moon in play, so my opponents were all on red mana.
Yeah.
And I had a Mox Ember and an Island, which I just crop rotated into, but they were finding free counter magic from Thrasius activations, then Devoted Druid into the enchantment that turns into
Swift Recon, yeah.
exactly. And the mono red player at top deck, the single card in hand, a deflecting swat. So it was turn after turn, 3 turns or 4 actually, attempting to win, and they all got counter magic. It eventually ended up in a draw, and we were all happy with the game. It was well played.
Yeah,
it was
okay.
quite funny, quite interesting.
So we can see here our players are starting to shuffle up. So let's start by looking at what we are playing for today. I don't think we've shown it on stream. So if you will help me here.
Yes.
So obviously the big prize here is gonna be this tropical island. The winner will get this along with this beautiful cEDH Portugal playmat here.
Exactly.
Can we see it? Yeah. And what do the others get here?
And then we have for the other 3 players an Urza Saga.
Yeah. Urza Saga, Deflecting Swat, and Fierce
The
Guardianship.
best 3 spells in the market, I guess.
So, I know obviously you would win if you're in the final, but if you didn't win, which of the 3 cards would you choose?
Which of the 3?
Yeah.
I don't know, the one who could maybe sell the easiest, Fierce or Deflecting Swat.
Always easy to get rid of those.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, let's focus on the match now. We have Escaio, I think, is that pronounced? Escaio?
Escaio,
Escaio?
something like that.
On Malcolm Tana in seat 1, upper left corner. Then we have Samusman 14, our Godot player who won their semi-final in turn 2, I believe it was.
Yeah, I think it was quite fast.
That is the upper right corner. Then below that, in the lower right corner, we have Unrivaled on Sise. And the 4th and final seat, we have the Rocco player we just saw with the incredible win on camera a couple of minutes ago. So, who do you like in this match?
Who do I like
for winning?
For winning, you mean like?
Who do you think is gonna win?
From this, actually, as I was speaking earlier with Colquio, I think, and I also thought about bringing Tena Malcolm because I think it's a 1-card combo in the command zone with. You just need to find like 6 or 7, one of 6 or 7 or 7 cards in the deck that is Buccaneer or something to fetch Buccaneer.
Exactly.
So it can be quite fast, an early cast for Malcolm turn 1 or 2 at least, and then just finding Buccaneer usually does the deal, and there's not so much removal usually for creatures, although Rocco as a creature-based combo deck can also be in that position, like taking advantage of most of the non-creature counter spells in the meta.
I have to say, what I've heard about the Godot player today, there's a lot of turn 2 and 3 wins, and we have a non-blue deck in Rocco here, and we have a Sisse deck that's not filled with counterspells because there's a lot of moving pieces to that combo, so I don't see that much disruption.
No, that's true. That's basically turn order. I think will be a major factor in this turn order and mulligan decisions.
So Gani, the bottom 2 guys in the bottom right corner, that is Sisse Weatherlight Captain, and in the bottom left corner we have Rocco. I don't remember the name, but it's a food chain commander.
Food chain commander, exactly.
Yes. So we just got the starting hands here. So. Okay, we can say we are off to a great start because Glinthorn Buccaneer is in the hand of Malcolm Tana. Okay, and also we see some Ram, we have a Bird of Paradise, we have a Twin Flame and a Worldly Tutor for the backup combo. And a Rhystic Study, so you can even go turn 1 Birds into turn 2 Rhystic and then from there try to proceed.
Although, as you mentioned, since there's lack of blue, I'd go aggressively into turn 3.
I like that as well. Okay.
Can be the difference, yeah.
Let's see here.
Player 2.
Player 2. There, player 2 here. Okay, so this is our Godot. Yeah, there's Jessica's Will, there's the Desperate Ritual, yes, and Wayfarer's Bauble, Heat Shimmer, Emergent Zone, and a Mountain. Two mountains.
Quite slow start, actually.
Yeah, but this is still a turn 2 Godot, right?
turn for sure.
It's turn 2 Godo.
With a jewel.
Exactly.
To put mana into Jessica, depending how much they damp their hands, but usually. Yeah.
Usually, especially what do you say, Rocco non-blue,
Yeah,
most likely won't dump out the entire hand.
Player 3.
Oh, I think this.
Is it from?
I think it's from the last game. Okay, so we're still waiting on the hands of the last 2 players.
Cizay and Rocco.
Yeah. But I mean, those 2 hands, especially the Malcolm hand, very good.
Very good. I would go aggressive on that, unless somehow they pull on an early Dranith, then Ristic is the plan.
Okay,
Cizay.
and now we have Sisse here. There's a Carpulsland Forest, a
Overgrown Tomb,
a Red Blast,
and
Elves of Deep Shadow, Nissa's Oath of Nissa,
Red? No.
and Red Blast, and this is Nicol Bolas Dragon God. Spicy. I think that is used to.
Which means he's not in Giganta because it's a 3.
Yeah, there's no Giganta here.
No.
I'm not sure I like this keep.
No.
Especially because you know there's a Godo. Like
Actually, Red Blast could be good for Malcolm, I guess.
True,
If
that's
he's
true.
Being third could be a good option,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, it can maybe get rid of a turn 1 Malcolm if that's what you're facing.
Yeah, I guess. I think that's at least the key card in that keep. So. And Bob Simpson, yes, this is the finals, and I think you already know that.
Yeah. Okay, and we have the hand of Rocco here. So we see Food Chain already in hand with some Mana Elves and an Enlightened Tutor.
That's a promo.
City of Brass, Taiga, Flooded Strand, 2 Mana Elves, Food Chain, Enlightened Tutor. I mean,
he needs to. Yeah, I think that Enlightened Tutor into a mana crypt could help Rocco find Squee and go from there.
Yeah. Okay,
And
so
we
we
have
are
started.
already started. So, as predicted, we have the turn 1 Birds from the Malcolm player and the Mountain Wayfarer's Bauble from Godo, and turn 1 Mana Elf from Sisse. And now we are up to speed.
Speed indeed.
So,
And the chat. Does the chat have any ideas? Any from what you've heard?
yeah, chat. So with that information we just gave you, who do you like for winning this finals? I have to say I'm still on Godo.
Go. Yeah. Especially we haven't seen anything in their hands to stop that.
Exactly.
The thing is, Jessica can cast it, and then he needs to pay 4 in a turn cycle. They could find something.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see a turn 1. I think we'll see a turn Godo and then win on the following turn.
Yeah, I said 4. No, turn 3 go. Turn 2 go.
Yeah, turn 3 win.
Win possibly.
But this is also where Malcolm is threatening the win,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Because we're gonna see most likely turn 2 Malcolm. Ooh.
Oh, he found the mana crypt, which means he can go not both.
No.
Ristic, no. Ristic and Malcolm would be crazy.
Definitely. But yeah, we just see turn 2 Malcolm here with a open mana.
Open mana, and he still has a land in hand, I believe. So 2 open mana.
2 open mana, yeah. Okay, so we're just set up for next turn.
Did Malcolm had an early tutor, or was it someone
I think it
else?
was Rocco. No,
What
that
was
no.
Enlightened tutor?
Yeah, no, I think there was a worldly tutor.
I would go for a Gilded Drake if I see I cannot win. Still Godo.
Exactly. Or you can maybe try and get Darkside to see if you can get a counterspell out, and then afterwards go for the Glinthorn. But we don't have enough red mana for that.
It will be tricky because if he goes for the... Oh, he didn't cast Jessica's Will. Interesting.
Probably because they want to make it all in one turn instead of...
I guess.
But
or appear less the target since Malcolm is quite
so
head in board.
In this board state, would you use the red blast here immediately just to kill the Malcolm, or would you wait?
I think I would wait because he still has mana for it, and then I think I would wait.
Okay, so you see a Rakdos Talisman and the Oath of Nissa here. Let's look at the top 3. Take a creature or planeswalker.
Planeswalker, I'm not sure.
I think it's creature or planeswalker, I'm also not sure.
Yes, perhaps. No, I think it's a land, but then you can use mana of any color to cast planeswalker spells.
That sounds correct, yeah. Okay, it's actually creature, land, or planeswalker.
Okay.
So we were both right.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting, he didn't. He had white. Okay, he's thinking on the upkeep of Roko. But he can't even go for the Enlightened Tutor in the upkeep.
No. So this is probably just gonna be...
In the upkeep, this...
No, this can be turn 2, food chain, sack.
No, I don't think he can win, but if you were to
If he has the right creatures in hand, he can work his way up the chain, because you can go turn 2, sack the first elf to play the next one. If you can then sack that one to play something of another color, and then like go up the chain, you need a lot of creatures in hand, and we know he doesn't have that, but potentially he could.
So the thing is, if you go keep Worldly Tutor, Enlightened Tutor for a Jewel Lotus, for instance, could help the cast Roko for the 3 mana for the Squeed.
True. The issue is though we don't have white mana. Is that an Eversense Pilgrim? Oh,
FNM.
okay.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking about that.
Okay, yeah, that could maybe work.
But it's tight to do both, I think.
Yeah.
Because Roko requires Naya mana exactly.
Yeah, Naya and X.
And X, yeah. The Jewel Lotus wouldn't help much on the other colors.
But also, I think we also have to consider the fact that players are now in the finals, and when people get to a final, they tend to have the mentality of I don't want to lose. So people are maybe sometimes a bit hesitant to get
proactive.
So they want to wait a bit, I think.
Kind of, yeah.
But I don't think that will favor the Godo players, so I'm kind of curious why we just didn't see a turn 2 Godo.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Maybe being afraid of being stolen by a Gildrake. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean we know that would happen, but
and it would put a big target, because another land and then a free rock. We know what he has, but he would have win on board afterwards. So
And as predicted, we see the upkeep mana crypt here, or E-tutor for mana crypt. Okay, so I think now maybe, so you play a land, tap mana crypt and land for food chain, exile the Eversense Pilgrim for 2 green, use 1 of the green for the other elf in hand,
go
get
up to
get white,
use 1,
and then you have red here, and then you have 5 mana for rock. All right? Is the math wrong here?
I don't think so, because it also costs 3 for the food chain. So
yeah, but the 3 is here.
3 there, and then 1, 2, cast
3, 4, 5.
1, 3.
Well, we'll see.
4. I think it's
it can be one short.
4, which. Yeah, if you were to, you would need how is the dockside count? 1, dockside.
It's only it's 4.
It's 4, but I think he really needs to go for the squeak in the first cast if he wants to do everything in one turn.
We'll let him figure that out.
Exactly. If you were to have a free mana, which had to be drawn in the first draw step, because this turn it drew this, then he could have gone all the way, I think.
Yeah.
And maybe this means that Jewel Lotus was the correct.
Oh, if Jewel Lotus, then it's easy.
Because it's the 1 mana extra you needed for the Roko
Yeah.
all-in.
Okay, so here's the other Earth we know about. So if we go Food Chain now,
it would be 4.
but I think you had to play Food Chain before and then use green from this elf because you need the other color from that land. Or you needed that. Okay, so we're just...
Yeah, it's going slow.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if Malcolm goes for it.
Yeah, exactly. He's missing red. No, he's not. Birds
No,
of
he
Paradise,
can even
and,
go Ristic 31st to try and bait. And if it doesn't work, you will have drawn a lot of cards.
If most likely, I would say Caesar fires the red blast and then he casts the other
Exactly.
thing, and it's GG.
Wow.
No blocks.
I mean, this is
Here
the power
comes-
of being on the first seat.
Yep, that's it.
Let's see if he goes for it.
And that's a 4. He takes 3.
Takes 3.
1, 2, 3. 4. Yeah, yes, the mana he needs.
Yeah, but he needs mana to activate still, right? No.
He can do it after the combat
That
connects,
is true.
after the damage
But
connects.
he still needs, because it's 2 to activate, right?
Buccaneer right away. Dang it. Unless he has protection,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he does.
I mean, there has been a couple of draw steps, so...
Yeah. Was there an Abrade in Godot's hand? I don't think so. I think I'm imagining stuff at this time.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of things work still. Removal spells, bounce spells, the red blast that we know of already.
There's one extra problem here.
What's that?
If he, sometimes players just say, okay, go to combat, and then, yeah, no, there's the red blast coming. He's missing red to start if you were to be interacted just in the beginning of combat.
Yeah.
Which I've seen happen like in...
Exactly. Okay, we'll see here.
Yeah. So, yeah, Risty could have drawn in a card here. Actually,
Yeah, and Ristic would probably have drawn out the red blast.
the red blast, most likely. I'd say so.
Yeah.
Depending how I don't know. There are players who in this table I wouldn't fire the red blast on a Ristic, but
Okay.
because if it's your only out to protect Buccaneer, I'm okay to paying a little bit more and okay that people play slowly, not to feed the Ristic, but no, I still have the answer for the Malcolm.
True.
Temporary answer, but
Okay. So,
SWAT doesn't even do it here.
no, because there's
Because-
no other blue spells.
Exactly.
Or permanent, sorry.
Is this one that it cares if it is blue, or
Yeah.
is this? Yeah.
This is the one that cares. It needs to be blue.
It needs to be blue.
Pyroblast, you can point at anything.
Okay. Then because if it was that one, it could.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
There is some talk between the players.
Yeah, it looks like there's a judge here already.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they are not sure when it was this cast. If it was in response to the cast. or
but
something. What did he drew?
snap.
Ooh, can he do it?
I think he can because there's a colorless floating right now. Untapped 2 land.
Yep. And it's enough to cast Malcolm again.
And Buccaneer
attack with
has
Buccaneer
haste.
only. It only creates one
Yeah.
treasure.
Okay, so
would
we
need
need
the
one
other-
more mana
Yep.
somewhere.
Exactly. He has one floating from the mana creep 2, he cast it. And taps 2 lands. Are they?
Depending on what Godo has been drawing, this could
Yeah.
really open up the game here for Godo.
Yeah, yes.
Because this will most likely tap out Malcolm,
That's
which
true.
is probably the only thing that can interact with. Oh,
Deflecting Swat, nice.
getting Buccaneer back into hand. That is
interesting.
very good.
With this twist of events,
And-
Roku is in a
And the thing is
great-
that, if I'm not mistaken, he can also choose which land to untap now, and he can untap his own lands. Because there's.
Interesting. No, I don't think.
I'm pretty
it's-
sure Snap is target lands.
It
Because
is target lands, I think.
so
yeah.
you get to choose all the targets.
The targets.
Let's see if he
Ooh,
notices that.
Let's see indeed. It seems it did not. Up to 2.
I mean,
let me double check the Oracle though, just out of curiosity. Because I believe it says untap up to 2 lands, but yeah, it must have. It's not a
because I'm pretty
choice.
sure you can untap your opponent's lands.
You can.
Yeah.
You can.
So in that
I've
case,
done
you could
that,
also. Yeah, exactly. So you can also redirect. Okay. Well, we just cast Ristic instead. I like that. Now plans are thwarted.
Thing is, as longer as the game goes, players will have less cards for that Jessica's will. I think
Yeah.
after this fight, he should try to do something.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't need to, but he has a window. If he finds something on the... No, never mind, no top 3, just little...
Oh, just passing the turn. I'm kind of feeling that Godo sort of missed their window.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chat says he can choose because Chat Snap did resolve. It resolved. It just bounced Buccaneer instead.
Yeah, and tap up to 2 lands. So the 2 lands, it's strange. I honestly,
Yeah, I don't
as
know
a
if-
judge, I don't know the answer.
Me neither, and I'm not a judge.
Yeah, up to 2 lands. They are not. They don't have the target in the wording, but
No.
somehow there's something.
It can just be the owner of the spell.
Perhaps something
Yeah.
like a choice. There are spells that allow you to choose something.
Exactly.
Something like that, I guess. I'll double check that for later. He didn't control the spell, says Lucas Rezende. Lucas is a common player, quite good player in our cEDH Portuguese Discord.
Yeah, he's been here all
Targets.
night, helping
Yeah?
us along.
Cool.
Okay, so a lot of mana is being tapped here for Chainer. Is that?
Chainer adapt something.
Yeah, the new Chainer for our Commander Legends-ish, right?
Yeah, pay 3 lives. No, this is the other one. Interesting. I mean, I
Yeah.
think there are some loops with this, but I'm not so familiar with CSA.
Exactly, same here. And it seems like all the CSA players have different combos to me.
That's also
So-
true. Let's call Mons from... Mons, come here and help us out. In the main phase, that's also Marcus. We are not sure. There was some judge.
Yeah,
and
I think that might have been the judge call. When did it happen?
exactly. Maybe it was beginning of combat.
Yeah.
With mana would be gone and no Ristic. True.
Okay. So
We are on the Roku turn already.
I'll
Maybe
just
as a window.
look up what the Chainer does.
Cool.
Nightmare Adept, right?
I think if Godo doesn't have anything, Roku just wins here.
Yeah. So it's a discard outlet that lets you cast creatures from your graveyard. And a haste enabler. So it can be for the haste and maybe that. But okay. I expect to see a food chain
Yeah.
on the stack here.
Already. Bang.
Food chain wins games. Let's see if it is still true.
Yeah. Unless Roku has Godo has some damn those like really similar words are messing up.
Yeah, I mean
there's Ristic.
there's Ristic. Always awkward for food chain players.
Exactly. Unless he finds.
But then again, there's no commander, so the free spells are off there. All the rest of the free spells are mostly counter spells. Maybe, I don't know, they play Force of Vigor.
Invasion for Force of Vigor. Maybe a player choice. I'm not sure if it's in the actual like default
No,
list.
but also relatively fast. I think he would maybe draw 10 cards or something, and then he would be able to find something that destroys an enchantment, and then
or
go on
just
from there.
just get Grand Abolisher.
Yeah, even better.
Yeah, and he is known for doing that. Yeah, for 2 Grand Abolisher. key for 2, exiles it for 4, and then helps get squeeze somehow. Yeah, I think he has the win here. This guy keeps pulling wins
Out of nowhere.
out of nowhere. Being fourth, like,
Yeah.
I'm just here. And this is patient. He's patient in these situations. But I wouldn't blame no one here. I think just mis-sequencing on the part of the Malcolm player.
Yeah, and
unfortunately.
also-
I guess.
I also kind of think that Godo player missed the window. I just want to play turn 2 Godo, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, sure, we'll rebuild.
Specifically, you could have gone Jeska's Will targeting the Ristic player, or no, first like the ritual.
Yeah.
Ristic, no, I'm not drawing. And then Jeska, Ristic, no, I'm not drawing. And then Jeska's suddenly an 8 mana, and he has, what does he have in hand? Is the Simian Spirit Guide in his hand?
Okay, so I'm assuming the food chain is still on the stack, and there's being discussions. So what can go? Did we find Tibalt's triggery?
Ooh, could be interesting. Then it's understandable.
No.
Right to Flame. Oh, he's feeding the Ristic, I think.
Yeah.
Only option. And then 2 mountains and
Heat
the Twin
Shimmer
Flame. Heat Shimmer, that's it. Yeah. No.
Jessica as well. Oh! Emergent Zone. Can we do... So we can instant speed...
Is it changing the way he should have done it the other way around? But then...
But the issue is... Instant speed Godo does nothing. You need the attack.
Instant spin Jeska, but still then nothing to do with it.
Exactly. So it's only to feed the Ristic player,
Yeah.
but
even he'd shimmer something if he wanted to do the all-in, but I guess so. He has 3, but yeah, he's missing 1 though
yeah.
for the Jeska. It appears. Wait a second. 3 red. Thing is, he needs 1 to activate the emergency zone, so then he's off of mana.
He's one short.
So, and we have the Roko player was a Godo player. He won the first plateau with a Godo turn 1. You can see in the cEDH Portuguese League channel.
I mean...
And then he went to play with Noto because he had a plateau, so he just bought some white cards.
So
and then he added green. He's playing Roko now.
And what will he play when he's adding blue?
Blue and green, maybe Bruce Razios, another one.
You still need a Volcanic Island Tundra.
That's true.
So yeah, I have to agree. It looks really good for
Yep.
the Rocco player here. I mean, you can be unlucky because you have to give the Malcolm player some draws, but I can't really find any other outs than Force of Vigor.
Force of Negation and Force of Will.
Yeah, but
And he has Malcolm in hand. No,
yeah.
he does not.
No. So but I'm assuming the food chain results.
Yeah, in that case, yes. Oh yeah, if it resolves and he goes through the loops. He doesn't have another land, so I was thinking Simeon's Elvish Spirit Guide into a Bozasia, but it's undoable with the current mana. You would need both.
Yeah.
Snapback? No, nothing. Yeah, I think it's...
Yeah, it looks like Rocco will come from behind once again.
Once again, indeed.
So yeah, looks like food chain resolved. We're tapping some mana here. What I assume is gonna be white from the Everson's Pilgrim and green from Savannah, and now red. And I expect to see a creature getting exiled here.
Yeah, leaving still open mana for something.
Yeah, so that if we exile a creature here, we can cast Rocco for 2.
I think you need Squee first.
Okay.
But then
we can just exile the other creature.
once you get Squee, it's GG, and you just get Abolisher again eventually.
I mean, you don't need to go infinite because of Ristic. Just just enough to recast Roko for 2 for Grand Abolisher.
Yeah.
Or and you can do so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He would need both of them, and he would have 1 extra.
Okay, so we're tapping the city here.
City and exiling 1. That's in exactly 5. 6.
Yeah. Which is X is 3.
Yeah, for screen.
Yeah, Mister, you are probably about to see Rocco win and not Godo. But I could argue that Rocco is sort of just Naya Godo. It's not as clean of a win but with enough mana you can get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the first draw here from Ristic. And then 4 mana from Squee, and then you exile, give 1 more draw to recast Squee, exile again for another color, that's another 2 draws, exile Rocco.
He just needs to exile all 3 creatures, which is enough to recast Rocco for 1 more time to find Abolisher, and then you go off.
Yeah.
I think
you're right.
He needs mana to recast Squee, so I didn't do the math actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These would cost 5, 6, 7. Exactly. It's exactly. I think he just needs 1 more cast.
I mean, impressive. Really impressive. We were just talking about how we think that it's rough being in 4th in a final here.
Yeah. I've played third in 4 matches. No, 3 matches. Once in 4th, once in 1st, and 3rd and 4th it's really hard.
Okay, so we see Rocco getting exiled here.
It adds 4.
That's 4 mana.
Color. Then it could go for red. Then oops.
Yeah.
I lost shot. No. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, it's hard to argue against Rocco after seeing it tonight here. So
yeah. And he can grind, and this specific list, I don't know if you like Rocco, this specific list is quite spicy, full of silence effects, which I think, and full of interaction actually.
I like that. I'm not that, I have to admit, I usually play blue partner decks, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that white mana? 2 white and 4 red?
And then 4 green from Squee, I guess.
Yeah.
It's 10, which is, it needs 7 for the Rocco, and then still has exactly 3 from Squee to start the loop.
Yeah. Okay, so we're exiling Squee here for 3 green.
3, should be 4.
Yeah, it should be 4. Maybe there's the 4th. Okay, and
casting
get
once though.
Yeah, I
no
think.
Need though, but yeah.
Okay, so.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, you could have done it the other way around.
Yeah, so
7 is.
7 should just be enough, right?
Yeah.
For Grand Abolisher here. There's no need to give extra draws, but maybe.
I've 8. Oh, maybe he's going for the Ranger Captain if he's going for 8, but Abolisher would be enough.
But Ranger Captain still allows for creature spells. Why not just go for the cheaper, better option?
Yeah, exactly. That's why.
Okay, so
he's leaving 1 red behind. So yeah, I think 7. Yeah.
Yeah. X is 2.
The judge is asking how much is X, so there's no problems in communication between players.
Exactly, and this is it. We need to see the
count.
Force of Vigor.
Yeah, something here.
I mean, there is a chance if Malcolm is playing both of the Spirit Guides and Boseiju.
Yeah, it could be. I wouldn't say they are bad cards in that deck because you want Malcolm on turn 1 or 2
Exactly.
quite frequently.
But
you see there's an Abeyance, he plays Abeyance, he plays Orange
Abeyance is
Chant.
sweet.
Here's the Grand
Orange Chant and Abeyance have the issue that is only one player,
one
right?
player, yes, that is true. But then it's also interesting that you find this, not the Oktoberfest finals, which was all for like normal meta decks, but I found that quite commonly recently final matches were not full of meta decks.
Yeah.
And then you had like 1 or 2 blue decks with some.
Okay.
There's the
And there's the
handshake.
win. And yeah, Fabio, as we mentioned before, we didn't know Forza Rico was the out, but we needed it before. So again, congratulations. Congratulations to the Rocco player.
Yes.
An impressive win, again coming back from 4th seed
Exactly.
and
Sometimes
pulling
it
off
just
that
helps.
incredible win in the semi-finals as well. I mean, if I was the Rocco player, I would go to bed with a big smile on my face tonight, because those were amazing plays.
Yeah, that is indeed true.
So, we'll be having a short break, and then we'll have the winner in for a winner's interview.
Yeah.
And hang on for a minute, we'll be back.
Welcome to SplitSecond, your channel for watching EDH and cEDH gameplay, as well as spicy deck techs. Here you can definitely expect clutch plays and gigantic stacks, gameplay insights and hand analysis, risky keeps that might have not paid off, victories without Thassa's Oracle, players who tap their permanents both ways, and much, much more. If you enjoy our content, feel free to hit that subscribe button and join us every week. And of course, you are more than welcome to integrate our awesome Discord community and speak with us about our games, your deck ideas, or just share some wholesome pet photos. Click on any of the videos below to watch our matches, and let's start breaking the stack.
Thank you for checking out Monarch Media, where ideas and causes worth talking about collide with Magic's most ferocious format. If you like what we do, consider checking us out on Patreon, Twitch, or our Discord.
Play with your best decks. Play the best tournaments. Play your best character. Play with your best friends. Mercadia. Play your best.
Welcome to SplitSecond, your channel for watching EDH and cEDH gameplay, as well as spicy deck techs. Here you can definitely expect clutch plays and gigantic stacks, gameplay insights and hand analysis, risky keeps that might have not paid off, victories without Thassa's Oracle, players who tap their permanents both ways, and much, much more. If you enjoy our content, feel free to hit that subscribe button and join us every week. And of course, you are more than welcome to integrate our awesome Discord community and speak with us about our games, your deck ideas, or just share some wholesome pet photos. Click on any of the videos below to watch our matches, and let's start breaking the stack.
Thank you for checking out Monarch Media, where ideas and causes worth talking about collide with Magic's most ferocious format. If you like what we do, consider checking us out on Patreon, Twitch, or our Discord.
Play with your best deck.
Okay, and we are here with the winner. Well, congratulations.
My hands all up.
Congratulations. So first of all, here's your playmat from the cEDH Portugal. I've heard you won tournaments before, so you probably have one already.
I have one. Maybe the organization can give it away as well.
Again, congratulations. Sick place today.
Yes.
We had a lot of talk about that semi-final. Let's hear it from the guy himself. Try to explain us what happened.
Okay, so first I tried to win, and to silence when I correct the Ranger Captain of Theos. It's like, oh fuck, really? And Yuriko guy tries to win, he exiles all his deck, he's left with no deck. The other guy had to pay the pact. Nagila guy tries to win. At that point, when he casts Ad Nauseam, I know, oh shit, I'm losing. I know I don't have anything in my hand. I look in front of me, and I see the Yuriko player looking at his hand like, this is a feeling that you have. I knew he had a counter in his hand, and that he was, should I cast this? I'm dead, should I cast this, should I? And it was in a quick moment I said, hey, if you cast that counter, I will cast Endurance. And this is what he wanted to hear. I gave it music to his ears, this is true. He was looking at his hands like, should I cast this? This was clear to me. He had something, and he was not sure if he should cast it. And I was really quick saying, hey, if you cast that counter spell, I cast Endurance. He did it, and then I was left in a position where I had the win in it. I had the win. Either I was gonna, and the guys told him, okay, he's saying that, but he's going to cast the win. In the end, he's going to do Endurance. That's what he's. And that was exactly my plan.
Yes.
When you make deals in cEDH, sometimes you don't lie, but you omit some things.
Yeah.
You leave the small letters to be read. They told him that he still did the thing, and I was left in a position where what can I do? I don't win here. I give him 1 in 7 chance of winning, the Yuriko player, because he has a Wish Claw Talisman. He has almost no deck, and he has a Demonic Consultation and Tassa on the field. He activates Wish Claw Talisman, and he has to get lucky and draw either Demonic or either. Do I want to take a chance? Then there's the Chrome player that has a shitload of cards in hand, a lot of mana. Do I take this chance, or do I just go for the win? And it's a bit unfortunate because I didn't show Endurance on the stream, but I said, hey, I'm gonna cast Terror of the Peaks, leave you at an 1 life and cast Endurance.
We told the chat and stream that you would cast Endurance because we heard that from the judge, so people know that.
This is a difficult position. Maybe people tell, oh, he's ruthless.
If you want to win games, you have to be ruthless.
But sometimes you have to be ruthless, and the winning play here is being quick to act, and me noticing the guy had a counter in hand and saying exactly what that he wanted to hear. Yeah. And this is a skill too. It's not only playing cards. This is a
100%.
This is a 4-player game. You have to try to bullshit your way out of it.
I mean,
I'm not the best Magic player ever,
you have to leverage the skill
but I
you
can
have.
bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I say. You have to leverage the skill you have.
Baal is calling me backstabber. I'm sure we will talk about this. And
Yeah, I mean,
he will trust me with other things, maybe not playing Magic.
it's
Okay.
a gray area as we were speaking of. It's quite. It's a gray area. So
It is a gray area, but it is within the rules, and we are playing for a tropical island, which is worth money. And there's a lot of money on the line here, so I cannot fault anybody for making that play. I don't like when people straight up lie, but you didn't lie. You just didn't tell everything.
Yes, you can say I omit some part of the. I omit the small letters.
It is minutiae, but it is what it is.
But listen, at that point, I had no chance, and I was able to say the right thing at the right time. I gave music to his ears.
And it worked.
And it worked.
And now you won again. And again, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You got the tropical island. And what is this?
This is Rocco.
Oh, and we have Rocco here, the winning deck. We will share all the finalist deck list and all the top 16 deck list in the Discord, I'm told. And that's it from this tournament. Baal, do you have any closing words?
Not at the moment. I hope that next year we will be able to do a bigger and better tournament, and hopefully more people from around Europe, maybe United States or somewhere else, can join us.
I'm
for
sure.
Some good tournament play. It's
been a blast being part of this, and I'm happy you guys wanted me to be part of this. Thank you to Cardmarket. Thank you to Also Sleeves. Thank you to Eminence. Thank you to Monarch. Thank you to everybody that's been part of this. And I think that's it. We are gonna close down for tonight. Everybody have a great evening or great day wherever you are in the world, and we will see you for the next tournament. Have a good time.